Chapter 6306. Nia waved her hand and said, "In fact, it is far more than that. I have studied the grievances between these two families before. These two families used to be relatives, you should know that, right?" "I know," Claire said. "You have also seen some of my gossip articles saying that they used to be relatives. But later they fell out. It seems that the An family accused the Wade family of killing their daughter." "Yes," Nia said. "In fact, 20 years ago, the second young master of the Wade family and the eldest daughter of the An family were both killed. And their only son went missing. Many people also said that their son was also killed. But the body has never been found. Some people also said that the culprit who killed their family was inextricably linked to the Rothschild family. But in the final analysis, it was the inaction of the Wade family that caused it." Claire said, "I seem to have heard of this incident. But the rumors are too weird. And I don't know who to believe, so I didn't take it seriously." Then, Claire asked again, "Did their children also encounter an accident?" "It is said so. Think about it, since they killed the couple, how could they let a little boy go? According to the plot in the TV series, the younger the boy, the more likely he will be the main force for revenge in the future. Since those people are so cruel, I think they would not leave any hidden dangers." Claire nodded slightly and said, "What you said seems to make some sense." Nia said mysteriously, "Claire, do you know why these two families, one from New York, USA, and the other from the capital of China, finally reunited and wanted to launch a new project? Why did they choose to hold a press conference in Aurora Hill?" "I don't know." Claire shook her head and said, "They should think that Aurora Hill has development prospects. So they invested in Aurora Hill together, right?" "No way." Nia curled her lips and said, "Our Aurora Hill's GDP doesn't even rank first in our province. How could it be favored by two such big families?" Claire asked puzzledly, "Then why is that?" Nia said, "There have always been rumors in the outside world that this family of three was murdered in Aurora Hill. The An and Wade families came here to commemorate them." Claire was even more shocked. "The eldest daughter of the An family is the famous Margaret in the United States. I read her personal biography a long time ago. When I went to the United States some time ago, I heard many people talking about her deeds. Was she murdered in Aurora Hill? Why have I never heard of this?" Nia said, "Since that incident, all relevant parties have blocked the news. It is normal that you haven't heard of it." Nia continued, "You may have only heard of Margaret. But Chang Jing, the second young master of the Wade family, was actually a very famous figure. And his life story is also very remarkable." Claire frowned and said, "The name Chang Jing Wade. I don't seem to know much about it. The reason why I know about Margaret is because she was too famous in Silicon Valley. Many world-class internet companies that started at that time were projects invested by her." Nia said at this time, although Chang Jing is not as famous as Margaret. His high-level operation back then was absolutely a show of talent in today's words. The Rothschild family, who had been involved in several business wars, could not do anything to him. He was absolutely a super talent. Charlie on the side did not speak. In fact, most people who knew about the incident back then knew about the same content as Nia described. Even Charlie himself always thought that it was the Rothschild family who directly killed his parents. And his grandfather Zhongquan was the one who indirectly killed his parents. These people did not know the existence of the Warriors' Den at all. Claire remembered something and asked Nia, "What was their child called?" This question from Claire made Charlie suddenly feel nervous. He didn't know whether Nia had ever heard of his name. If she really knew her name and said it in front of his wife, maybe it would make his wife figure out a lot of things. At this time, Nia shook her head and said, "I don't know what the child's name is." Their child was probably a primary school student back then. At that time, it was not like the society today. Everyone was particularly concerned about the second generation of stars and the second generation of rich people. The internet was not very developed and there were no secrets to hide. At that time, the children of these big families were still well protected by their families. Not only do the outside world not have their video materials, but even their names are unknown. After saying that, Nia asked again, "Why do you care about this? These are children who have been missing for 20 years. It is still unknown whether they are alive or dead." Claire nodded and sighed. "I just feel that his life is quite pitiful. If he has been killed, it would be even more pitiful. With such a good background, he died so early. It would be better for him to be born into an ordinary family and live a healthy and peaceful life." Nia nodded and said, "If he is still alive, he would be a super young master who has been abandoned among the people. If he sees this press conference and comes to recognize his relatives, these two families will definitely give him the best, and he will become rich right away." As she was talking, a female voice suddenly sounded at the scene, reminding all, "Dear media friends, please take your seats. Our press conference will officially start in 5 minutes.